Right. Here, this body is thrown vertically upwards with a velocity u. Okay, as long as the body moving upwards, the gravity pushes the body downwards. Due to that, it is travel with a deceleration, which is equal to minus g due to gravity. So that's why, as long as it's moving upwards, velocity decreases, and when it reaches the point B, say its velocity becomes zero. That's why that is the highest point. So before reaching the highest point, or before the vertical velocity becomes zero, up to what distance in vertical upward direction the body travels, that is called the maximum height reached by the body. That is equal to, already we derived, u square by 2z. Next, time taken by the vertically projected body to come back to the point of projection. That means after reaching the highest point, again to come back to the point of projection, whatever the time taken, that is called time of flight, which is equal to 2u by g. It is also derived. Okay. Or the time taken by the vertically projected body before reaching the same point of projection, it will be in space only, no? That's why the time taken by the vertically projected body for which it remains in the space, that is also called as the time of flight, which is equal to 2u by g. Now, whenever the body is projected with a velocity u, after t seconds, when it reaches the point C, what is the velocity of the body? Of course, as the body is thrown vertically upwards, acceleration is minus g. So here you see, initial velocity, whenever the motion is considered from A to C, initial velocity is u only. Okay, acceleration is equal to, of course, we know, minus g. Next, after t seconds, the final here at the point C, velocity is equal to question mark. So from relation among them is, from v is equal to u plus at. From this formula, v means we have to find v is equal to u means u only, a means minus z into time t. So this is the velocity at any instant of time t, or it is also called as the instantaneous velocity of the vertically projected body at any instant of time t. Okay. Now, suppose if you want to draw the graph for this, how we can draw? You see, u is constant, g is constant, velocity and time are variables. Okay. So between v and t, we have to draw the graph. Between v and t, we have to draw the graph. No doubt it is a straight line, because v and t are the variables whose powers are 1 only. That's why definitely we'll get a straight line. No? Okay. Here velocity means whenever the body is thrown vertically upwards until it reaches the highest point, its velocity direction is upwards. That means along positive direction only. But slope is equal to minus g. That means slope is negative, no? Here you see, at t is equal to 0, v is equal to u. That point lies here. Whenever at highest point, whenever velocity is 0, time taken is equal to u by g. That is equal to time of descent, time of ascent. Okay. So when v is equal to 0, means only that is the point lies on time axis. So when v is equal to 0, here you see, write the conditions. When t is equal to 0, you see in this formula, when t is equal to 0, v is equal to u. Okay. When v is equal to 0, that means when you consider the motion from A to B, at B velocity is 0, then time taken is equal to, you see, when v is equal to 0, u minus gt is equal to 0, or u is equal to gt, or t is equal to u by g. That means that is equal to time of ascent. So exactly, velocity is 0 at a time, t is equal to u by z. That means that point lies here. Here velocity is u by z. T is equal to u by z. Okay, definitely, no doubt it is a straight line. That straight line must pass through these points. That's why you join these 2 points. Then it is the straight line represented by this equation. Here you see, slope is negative, no? Here, the heights which are here considered are very small compared with radius of the earth. Somebody asked, this equation is not applicable anywhere. Here, the height up to which the body rises is very small compared with radius of the earth. In such case, the acceleration is constant. Acceleration due to gravity is constant. That's why here we can use this formula. Okay, up to maximum height, the formula for the graph between velocity and time is equal to this one. Okay, here as long as the body moving upward direction, the velocity gradually decreases. That's why the graph is in this direction. The graph is in this direction. After reaching the highest point, then whenever while it is coming down, what is the velocity time graph? After reaching the highest point, when it is coming down, whatever the velocity of the velocity time graph after that. So here we can draw like this, because after reaching the highest point, while it is coming down, velocity is in negative direction. No? Velocity is in negative direction. That's why here velocity must be taken in negative direction like this. You will get the graph like this. It is the velocity time graph for, from this highest point, it behaves like a freely falling body. That's why you have taken like this. Okay. Now it is the velocity time graph for the vertically projected body. The slope of the straight line gives the acceleration of the body. Okay. Now here up to this u by z, that means up to this time of flight, up to this time of ascent, if you find the area under velocity time graph, then that gives the maximum height reached by the body only. No, up to u by z means time of ascent. If you find the area under the graph, the area under the graph gives the displacement of the body in the time of ascent. In this time of ascent, the body reaches the highest point. No, that's why this area under this graph up to this one gives the maximum height reached by the body. In such a way, we can find. Okay, this is the velocity time graph, and it is the formula for velocity at any instant of time. Now, regarding this vertically projected body, some important notes points we have to discuss, because these are here up to this, these are important for IP point of view or CBSE point of view. Okay, while doing the problems in mains and advanced, we need some extra knowledge also. Applications are important. Okay, based on these concepts, we have to discuss some more applications. Okay, now note points. First one, suppose here one body is thrown vertically upwards with certain velocity. That velocity is not given. A body is thrown vertically upwards with certain velocity. That velocity is not given. Okay, suppose we imagine that velocity with which it is projected is say u. We have to find that u. That is not given. Okay, as the body is thrown vertically upwards here, while going upwards in their path, suppose the body reaches the point A in their path after a time t1 seconds. When a body is thrown vertically upwards here, after t1 seconds, the body reaches the point A. Okay, here the same body, whenever projected like this, it is moving like this, and its velocity goes on, decreases and becomes 0, and again they comes down. While they coming down here, again the body lies at the same point. No, there is a possibility to lie at the same point. No, here time taken by this body to reach the same point again while coming down is equal to say t2. That means when the body is thrown vertically upwards, the body remains at the same point A after t1 seconds from the start, after t2 seconds from the start. Is it possible or not? It is possible, no? When the body is thrown vertically upwards, while going upwards, the body reaches the point A. While going upwards and up reaches the maximum height, and again while coming down, again the body lies at the same point again after some more time. That means t2 seconds. Just we are given only t1 and t2 values. That's all. Just we are given only t1 and t2. From this, we have to find the velocity of projection. Okay, here we see. Already we know time of ascent is equal to time of descent. No, time of ascent is equal to time of descent. That means whatever the time taken by the body to travel from this point to this point, the time taken by the body to travel from this point to this point is same. Time taken by the body to travel from this point to this point, or this point to this point, both are equal. That's why this time is equal to how much? Time taken by this body to travel the remaining distance to reach the ground is how much? Up to this, time taken by the body to travel from point of projection to this point is equal to t2 given. Then from this point A to reach the ground, what is the time taken? Time taken by the vertically projected body to reach the point A from the ground is equal to t1. So time taken by the body to reach the ground from this point A is also equal to T1. Okay. Now you see, time of flight means we know the total time for which the body spent in the space. That is called time of flight. Now you see, up to T2 seconds it remains in space. T1 seconds remains in space. That means total time T1 plus T2 is the total time for which the body remains in space. No, that's why sum of these two T1 plus T2 gives what? Sum of these two T1 plus T2 gives what? Sum of these two T1 and T2. That means T1 plus T2 gives what? Karthik, time of flight. Okay, very good. Time of flight. That's why time of flight. Time of flight capital T is equal to T1 plus T2. What about T1, T2 there? These are the times, these are the instants of time at which the body remains at the same place in case of a body thrown vertically upward. T1, T2 are the times, instant of times at which the body remains at the same point when it is thrown vertically upwards. That is very, very important. Okay. Therefore, here this is equal to time of flight T is equal to T1 plus T2. That is equal to, we know if the body is thrown vertically upwards with a velocity u, then this time of flight is equal to 2u by 0. Already we derived. From this velocity of projection, u is equal to how much? Just you do cross multiplication. We are given only T1 and T2. We are given only T1 and T2. We have to find u. Just you do cross multiplication. U is equal to G by 2 into T1 plus T2. G by 2 into T1 plus T2. This is the formula for velocity of projection in terms of T1 and T2. Just we are given T1, T2 and asked to find what is the velocity of projection, they may ask. Then G by 2 into T1 plus T2. Of course, if you are having idea about the formula, then we can do directly. Otherwise, based on this concept, we should be in a position to do the problem. In such way, you have to learn. Okay. Next, what about the maximum height reached by the projectile? We are given just T1 and T2 only. In this case, what is the maximum height reached by the vertically projected body? In the same case, just we are given T1 and T2. That means the instance of time at which the body remains at the same point in their path. In case of vertically projected body, we are given. Then already we got velocity of projection in terms of T1, T2. Similarly, what is the maximum height reached by the this vertically projected body? That means this height we have to find. This height, maximum height reached by the vertically projected body, that is to be determined. Okay. Maximum height, already you know, maximum height is equal to u square by 2z, in case of vertically projected body. Just now we got u means this one. So you substitute, instead of u, substitute this value, that's all. Therefore, 1 by 2z into u square means, what about u? G by 2 into T1 plus T2. Whole square is there, whole square. Therefore, h is equal to 1 by 2z into 1 by 2z into g square by 4 into T1 plus T2 whole square. Of course, these square cancel. Therefore, maximum height reached is equal to g by h into T1 plus T2 whole square. It is the maximum height reached by the vertically projected body when you are given the instance of time at which the body remains at the same point. Just we are given T1, T2, and they ask to find what is the maximum height. Okay, that's why in this way we can do maximum. We can find the maximum height. Okay, here time of flight is equal to T1 plus T2. This is also important point. And velocity of projection is this one, and maximum height reached is equal to this one. Next, here, what is the height of this point A? They may ask. What is the height of this point A? Here, height of this point A means this one. That is equal to how much? H is equal to question mark. Height of the point A is how much? Means in this time T1, whatever the distance traveled by the vertically projected body in upward direction, that is the height, no? So, okay. So here, suppose this is a O, it is B. Then, when you consider the motion from O to A, so in this case, what is the time of flight? You tell me. In this case, time of flight is equal to, okay, what is the time of ascent? In this case, what is the time of ascent? Time of ascent is equal to half of the time of flight now. that is equal to time of flight is equal to t1 plus t2 by 2. It is the time of ascent, which is also equal to time of descent. Sometimes they may ask, what is the time taken by the body to reach the maximum height after it is projected? They may ask. That's why half of the time of flight is the time of ascent or time of descent. Time of flight means t1 plus t2. That's why t1 plus t2 by 2 is there. So 2. This is the time of ascent or time of descent. In this way we can find. Next, what is the height of the point A from the point of projection? They may ask. So when you consider the motion from O to A, when you consider the motion from O to A, initial velocity u, of course u means already we derived, u is equal to g by 2 into t1 plus t2. As the body is thrown vertically upwards, acceleration is equal to minus d. Okay, in a time taken by the projectile to reach this point is equal to t1. Okay, next, what about the distance traveled? S is equal to this distance, that is equal to h. So from S is equal to ut plus half at square. S means h, that is equal to u means g by 2 into t1 plus t2 into t1 plus t2 into t means this time t1, t is equal to t1, so t1 plus half, a means minus g, so minus half g into t square means t1 square. Okay, now h is equal to, you multiply them, g by 2 t1 plus t2 into t1, that means you multiply with t1, then g by 2 into t1 into t1, t1 square plus g by 2 into t2 t1, g by 2 into t2 t1 or t1 t2 minus half g into t1 square minus half gt1 square plus half gt1 square cancel. Then remaining is h is equal to, so h is equal to g by 2 into t1 t2. So the height of the point A from the point of projection is equal to g by 2 into t1 t2. Only in terms of t1 t2 we have to find. Okay, next, this is one application. Okay, next, one more. Yesterday I sent one assignment to you. Have you received that one or not? Yesterday I sent assignment to you. Have you received? Okay. I sent the solutions also for them. Okay. Next, one more note point. In case of a vertically projected body only, one more note point. Okay. Suppose one body is thrown vertically upwards with a velocity u. With a velocity u. It is the point of projection O. Highest point is say v. At this point, final velocity is equal to 0. Okay. Then what is the time of ascent? What is the time of ascent? So time taken by this body to reach the highest point is time of ascent, which is equal to u by z, we know. That means the time taken by the vertically projected body to reach the highest point is equal to u by z. Suppose this is at 10 seconds. That means the time of ascent is equal to 10 seconds, means time taken by the vertically projected body to reach the highest point is equal to 10 seconds. Okay. During its upward motion, what is the last second? The time taken by the vertically projected body to reach the maximum height is equal to 10 seconds. Then what is the last second of its last second of its maximum height reaches? 10th second. Okay. In last second, that means time taken by the vertically projected body to reach the highest point is equal to u by z. If it is say 10 seconds, then time taken by the vertically projected body to reach the highest point is equal to 10 seconds. Then last second of its vertically upward motion means 10th second. Similarly, last second of its upward motion is just u by g second. Okay, so n is equal to u by g. In this time, what is the distance traveled? In last second of its vertically upward motion, in last second of vertically upward motion, distance travel Sn is equal to general formula u plus a into n minus half. No, so Sn is equal to, u means of course it is projected upwards with a velocity u only, plus a means minus z into n means u by g second, so u by g minus half. Okay, so this is equal to u minus of course when you multiply with g, then g into u by g cancels, so u minus plus g into 1 by 2 means g by 2, u cancel, therefore Sn is equal to g by 2. That means when the body is thrown vertically upwards in the last second of its upward motion, or in the last second before it reaches the highest point, what is the distance traveled means that is equal to g by 2. Okay, suppose the velocity of projection is made double. If the velocity of projection is made double, if velocity of projection is doubled means that is becomes 2u, then what is the last distance traveled by the body in the last second of its maximum, in the last second before it reaches the maximum height? Okay, very good Pranav. So here Sn is equal to, general formula is u plus a into n minus half only, so this is equal to u means the velocity of projection is doubled. Here you see, in this case the velocity of projection is doubled. Time of ascent is equal to u by z. U means 2u by z. It is the time of ascent. So before reaches the maximum height, time taken is equal to 2u by z. Last second before reaches the maximum height means this is only no, n is equal to this only no. That's why u means 2u. As it is thrown vertically upwards, acceleration is equal to minus z as usual. N means last second before reaches the maximum height means this only, but this is equal to last second. That's why 2u by g minus 1 by 2. Okay, this is equal to 2u minus, when you multiply with g cancels, so 2u you will have, minus plus g into 1 by 2 means g by 2. So again these two cancel, Sn is equal to g by 2. That means in case of vertically projected body, what is the conclusion can be drawn from this data? So in case of vertically projected body, the distance traveled by the vertically projected body in the last second before reaches the maximum height is same. Therefore, distance traveled by vertically projected body in the last second before reaches highest point, that remains same means that does not depends on velocity of projection. When you project the body with a velocity u, the distance traveled in the last second before reaches the maximum height is g by 2. Even the body is projected g by 2. Even the body is projected with the double the velocity of projection. Even then, the distance traveled in the last second before reaches the maximum height is g by 2. That means, okay, so the distance traveled by the vertically projected body in the last second before reaches the highest point or maximum height does not depends on velocity of projection. Maximum height does not depends on velocity of projection. That is very important point. Velocity of projection. So these points are very important. So the distance traveled by the vertically projected body in the last second before reaches the maximum height does not depend on the velocity of projection. That remains constant and is equal to g by 2. Okay, whatever the velocity of projection. Next, one more point. Third one, suppose one body is thrown vertically upwards with a velocity u along the same line from certain height. One more body is dropped. One body is dropped. Here it is the first body, that is the second body. Initial velocity of projection is u. Here it is dropped. That's why initial velocity is 0. Okay. Here the height from which the second body is dropped, that is say capital H. Okay. Not capital H, you say small h. Small h. Okay. Now a body is thrown vertically upwards with a velocity u. Okay. And at the same time, another body is dropped from certain height h along the same line. The two bodies travel along the same straight line. Definitely, as here, whenever the time lapses, the two bodies comes closer like this, and they make collision. No, they make collision. No. Okay. The vertical projection of a body depends on whatever the mass we are projected with a velocity u. When the body is thrown with a velocity u, whatever the mass, the maximum height is equal to u square by 2z. Time of flight is equal to u by z, etc. It does not depend on the mass. Okay, but if the body is having more mass, to project with the same velocity, more efforts are to be taken. That is important. Okay, here g by 2 is also constant. Even the mass of the body is more. In the last second before reaches the highest point, the distance traveled by the body, whatever the mass, that remains the same. Okay. It is in space only. Whenever air resistance is not there, in that case, this is true. In the air resistance, suppose if space means no, are you here? John William. Space means if gravity free space means the body continuously travel with the constant velocity in case of gravity free space. Okay. In gravity free space, there is no acceleration. So whatever the velocity with which the body is projected, it travels with the constant velocity in upward direction only. It will not come back in gravity free space. Okay. Right. Here you see one body is thrown vertically upwards. Here it is the first body. Here it is the second body. At the one body is thrown vertically upwards with a velocity u. At the same instant, another body is dropped freely from a height small h. Definitely, the two bodies travel along the same straight line, one upwards and another one downwards. And after some time, they collide each other, no? Or they meet together, no? They collide each other or meet together. Okay. Suppose here the two bodies meet at this point. This is the point A. This is the point B. This is the point C. Say. Suppose the two bodies meet together here. First body reaches this point. Second body reaches this point, and first body reaches this point after a time t seconds. Both are same because at the instant whenever it is thrown, at the same instant the body is dropped. That's why when they meet together, the time taken for the two bodies remains same. That is equal to t each because both are projected and dropped simultaneously. That's why definitely they meet together after a time t seconds. Say. Okay. So in t seconds, the height reached by the first body is equal to say y. Then what is the distance traveled by this body which is dropped? What is the distance traveled by the body which is dropped? If the vertically projected body before meet the two bodies together, the vertically projected body travel a distance equal to y. Then what is the distance traveled by the body dropped from a height h to meet together? Before they meet together, h minus y, because this is h. From this you subtract this y. Then this is equal to h minus y, no? So the body which is dropped freely travel a distance equal to h minus y, and the vertically projected body travel a distance y before they meet together here. Before they meet together. Okay. Now for first body, initial velocity is equal to u itself, acceleration is equal to, because it is vertically projected body upwards, that's why acceleration is equal to minus z, displacement s is equal to y, we had to find, time taken is equal to t. Okay, then what is the relation among them? From s is equal to ut plus half at square. From s is equal to ut plus half at square. S means y, u means u only, t plus half a means minus z. So half gt minus half gt square. It is equation 1. For body 2, initial velocity is 0. Acceleration, as the body falls freely under gravity, acceleration is equal to plus z. Okay, displacement s is equal to h minus y. Time taken is t only. Okay, so what is the relation among them? Again, from s is equal to ut plus half at square. S means h minus y is equal to u means 0, 0 into t 0, plus half a means plus z into t square. So h minus y is equal to h minus y is equal to half gt square. This is equation 2. Okay, now from 1 and 2 equations, after what time they meet together, we have to find. From 1 and 2 equations, after what time the two bodies meet together, we have to find. Okay, from 1 and 2. Okay, you see here, y we have to eliminate, because remaining terms are there, y we have to eliminate. Okay, instead of y we can write like this now. From this y is equal to, how we can write? Y is equal to h minus half gt square. Okay, but from equation 1, y means ut minus half gt square. It is y from equation 1, that is equal to h minus half gt square. Minus half gt square on both sides can be cancelled. Then ut is equal to h, or t is equal to h by u. So one body is thrown vertically upwards, and at the same instant when another body is dropped freely, then after what time they meet together means after a time h by u they meet together. This is the case whenever the second body is dropped freely. Second body is dropped freely, that is important. If this body is also thrown with certain velocity, if the second body is also thrown with certain velocity, then this formula is not correct. We have to derive one more formula. Okay. So it is the time after which the two bodies meet together. So here, whenever the two bodies meet together, at what height they meet together? That means y is equal to question mark. At what height they meet together? The height at which the two bodies meet together. Is given by, that means y is equal to question mark. The height at which the two bodies meet together means here exactly at this point they meet together. Okay, the same problem may be asked in such a way that whenever the one body is projected vertically upwards, another body is dropped freely. After what time they collide each other, they may ask. After what time they meet together? After what time they collide each other? Okay, after what time they come close to each other means same formula. Okay, now whenever they meet here, at what height they meet together? That means y is equal to question mark. So when you consider the motion for A to C motion, when you consider the motion from A to C, initial velocity u, acceleration minus z, time taken by the body to travel from this point to this point is equal to t is equal to already we got h by u. Okay, next displacement s is equal to y, that is equal to question mark. Okay, now what is the relation among them? S u a, okay, t. So from s is equal to ut plus half at square. S means y is equal to, u means u only, t means h by u, plus half a means minus half g, into t square means h square by u square. Here u cancel. Therefore y is equal to h minus g h square by 2u square. This is the height at which the two bodies meet together. It is the height at which the two bodies meet together. Okay. Okay, next. So this is one more case in case of vertically projected body. So this is also important one. I think you could understand this one. Okay, are you understood? Okay. Suppose one body is thrown vertically upwards with a velocity u, and another body is projected down or thrown down. Another body is thrown down with the same velocity u. It is the first body, it is the second body. One body is thrown vertically upwards, another body is thrown downwards with the same velocity from a height equal to small h. Okay, after what time they meet together? After what time they meet together? Suppose the two bodies meet together here. Suppose the two bodies meet together here. Of course, here if the two bodies meet together after a time t, then height at which they meet together and after what time they meet together. That is the case. Okay, for first body, initial velocity u, acceleration as it is thrown vertically upwards, acceleration is equal to minus z. Okay, displacement s is equal to y, and time taken is t. So relation among them is s is equal to, from s is equal to ut plus half at square. S means y is equal to ut plus half a means minus half g into t square. Okay, this is equation 1. For body 2, here it is also thrown vertically downwards with a velocity u. Okay, to meet together at c, distance traveled is equal to, this total height is h, from which you subtract y, then h minus y, no? So to meet together, the body which is thrown downwards travel a distance equal to h minus y. So for that body, initial velocity u, acceleration is equal to plus z as it is thrown downwards. Okay, displacement s is equal to h minus y. Time taken is of course t only, because both are projected simultaneously. One is downwards, another one is upwards. That's why after the same time only they meet together. Okay, so relation among them is, from s is equal to ut plus half at square. S means h minus y is equal to u means u only. Previously we have taken 0 because it is dropped in previous case, but now it is thrown downwards. That's why u is there. Ut plus half, a means plus z into t square. It is equation 2. From 1 you substitute y value in 2. 1 into gives h minus y means this one, ut minus half gt square. Okay, is equal to y we have substituted, remaining is this one, ut plus half gt square. Therefore you split them, h minus ut minus plus half gt square is equal to ut plus half gt square. Plus half gt square minus half plus half gt square, both will be cancelled on both sides. Then h is equal to ut, you bring this minus ut to right, then 2 ut it becomes, then t is equal to h by 2u. Previously we got only h by u. Now it becomes h by 2u. That means it takes small time to meet together. I think you could understand the difference. Okay, in previous case, whenever the body is dropped freely and one body is thrown vertically upwards, they meet together after a time h by u. But in this case, when one body is thrown vertically upwards with certain velocity and the other is thrown down vertically downwards with the same velocity, then both will meet together after a time t is equal to h by 2 to u. That means the time is reduced to half when compared with the previous case. Okay, this is the time after which both will meet together. Sometimes they may ask, you see, sometimes they may ask at what height they meet together here. At what height they meet together. That means y is equal to question mark. Height h is equal to y. Sorry, height y is equal to question mark. Height y is equal to question mark. So to find the height, you consider the motion from A to B. It is the point C say. You consider the motion from A to B. So initial velocity is u, acceleration minus z. The time after which they meet together at B is t is equal to h by 2u. Displacement s is equal to y, no? Because whenever the bodies meet together, at what height they collide each other means this is the height y. So s is equal to y. They collide each other at this height. So relation among them. Again s is equal to ut plus half h square, no? S means y, u means u only, t means h by 2u plus half a means minus z into t square means h square by 4u square because h by 2u whole square. So here u cancel. Then y is equal to h by 2 minus gh square by 8u square. This is the height at which they meet together. Before they meet together, what is the velocity of this body and what is the velocity of this body before they meet together? They may ask like that also. Before they meet together, what about the velocities of the two bodies? V1 we have to find. To find V1, again from A to B only. Here, before it reaches the point here, what is the velocity V1? That is the question. V is equal to V1. That is question mark. A to B motion. Okay. What is the relation? V is equal to U plus AT we can use now. From V is equal to U plus AT. V means V1 we had to find. U means U only. Plus A means minus Z. Into T means H by 2U. This is the velocity of the body, first body, before they meet together at this point. What is the velocity of the body which is thrown downward before they meet together? Means Vt is how much? So when you consider the motion from C to B, initial velocity U, as it is thrown downwards, it is coming down because of gravity. That's why acceleration is plus z. Okay, distance traveled, s is equal to, after time t seconds, t is equal to, of course, h by 2u. After time t is equal to h by 2u. As this body comes to this position, what is the velocity at that time? V is equal to v2. That is equal to question mark. Again from v is equal to u plus at. V means v2 is equal to u plus a means plus z into t means h by 2u. Okay, this is the velocity acquired. Here it is h minus z, u minus gh by 2u. Here it is u plus gh by 2u. Okay, that is the difference. You don't remember the formulas. Based on the concepts only, you do the problems. Based on the concept only, everyone has to do the problem. Okay, if you are having we cannot remember all the formulas. Some fundamental formulas we have to remember, like F is equal to ma, like that. Okay, V square minus C square is equal to S. Such type of fundamental formulas we have to keep in our mind. Based on that concepts, we have to do these problems. Okay. Now, body thrown vertically upwards from top of the tower. Body thrown vertically upwards from the top of the tower. Okay. Suppose here this is the tower. Tower AB of height small h. Of height small h. the height of the tower is equal to small h. Okay, when one body is thrown vertically upwards, here one body is thrown vertically upwards from the top of the tower. Here this body is thrown vertically upwards from the top of the tower with a velocity u. Then the body reaches the highest point and velocity becomes 0, and again they just missed the top of the tower and they comes down like this, and they reaches the foot of the tower after some time. They reaches the foot of the tower after some time. This is the surface. It is the horizontal surface passing through the foot of the tower. Okay, here this projected body, it is projected with a velocity u, and it reaches the ground or it reaches the foot of the tower after a time t seconds. After a time t seconds. So what is the relation among them? Whenever the body is thrown vertically upwards from the top of the tower, so what is the maximum height reached by the vertically projected body? That is equal to, say, y. Maximum height reached is equal to y. Okay, now here after what time they meet together, what is the relation among them? First of all, what is the relation among them? Okay, now you see, initially the body is projected from the point B, so this is the initial point. Finally the body reaches the point here, so it is the final point. Okay, now velocity of projection is, body is projected at A, body is projected vertically upwards with a velocity u. As the body is projected vertically upwards, acceleration a is equal to minus v. Okay, next, after time t seconds, displacement of the body s is equal to, you see, vertically upward displacement you take positive, downwards displacement negative. You see here from this point, before reaches the maximum height, the distance traveled is equal to, imagine y, it is along vertically upward direction, means along positive y direction. That's why you take plus y. From highest point to this top of the tower, the body comes down through a distance equal to y. So this displacement is negative because it is in negative y direction. So minus y. Next, from this point to foot of the tower, it travel a distance equal to height of the tower but along negative direction. That's why minus h. So here these two cancel, therefore minus h. So this is the displacement of the body. When a body is thrown vertically upwards from the top of the tower, then before reaches the foot of the tower, the displacement of the body is equal to minus h, because initial direction of motion must be taken as the reference direction. Initial direction of motion must be taken as the reference direction. Initially, the body is projected vertically upwards. That's why you take this direction of motion as the reference. The finally, initial point is this one, final point is this one. That means displacement is in this direction only, no? That's why it is the displacement. Here, S means displacement, not distance traveled. Displacement. So in this case, what is the distance traveled? In this case, what is the distance traveled? To find the distance traveled, irrespective of the direction of motion, we have to measure the total length of the path traveled. This length y plus this length y plus this length h. That's why 2y plus h is the total distance traveled, and the displacement is equal to minus h. Okay. Now, what is the relation among these? From s is equal to ut plus half it square. From s is equal to ut plus half it square. S means minus h. U means u only t plus half a means minus z into t square. This is the, in case of a body thrown vertically upwards from the top of the tower. Okay. Now, one example we will do. Once it was asked in mains also. One example. A balloon starts from rest. A balloon starts from rest. A balloon starts from rest and moving with an acceleration g by 2, moving with an acceleration g by h in vertically upwards. Vertically upwards. Vertically upwards. After a time t naught, after a time t naught, after a time t naught, a stone is dropped. A stone is dropped from the balloon. From the balloon. Then time taken by the stone to reach the ground after it is dropped from the balloon. Then time taken by the stone to reach the ground after it is dropped from the balloon is dash. Okay, so here previously asked concept, here application of this one. A balloon starts from rest and moving with an acceleration g by 8 vertically upwards. It is not the projected body. This balloon is not thrown upwards and it is simply left freely. Okay, it is made to move with an acceleration g by 8 vertically upwards, and a stone is dropped from the balloon after some time t naught. Then time taken by the stone to reach the ground after it is dropped from the balloon is how much? So here answer is, you see, suppose balloon is released from the lowest point. Balloon is released from the starts from rest. Balloon is starts from rest. That's why initial velocity of balloon is 0. It is moving upwards. Balloon is moving upwards with an acceleration equal to g by 8. That is given in the problem only. Here this balloon is not projected vertically upwards. Balloon is moving forcefully with an acceleration g by 8 upwards direction. That's why we should not consider the effect of gravity on this balloon. After considering the effect of gravity only, it travel in upward direction with an acceleration g by 8. Okay. Now after t naught seconds, suppose after t naught seconds, balloon reaches the point here. After t naught seconds. So after t naught seconds, balloon reaches this position. Up to what height it reaches? That is say h. That is called we have to find. Here in t naught seconds, what is the distance traveled by the balloon? We have to find. At that after t naught seconds, then after reaching this much height, from this a stone is released. From this a stone is released. At this instant, whenever the balloon is here after t naught seconds, suppose the velocity of the balloon here is say velocity of the balloon is say v naught. Then every body in the balloon is also having same velocity v naught as that of the balloon upward direction. Even in case of stone also, at that instant, after t naught seconds, whenever the velocity of the balloon is this one, at that time the stone is also having same velocity. Then it is just kept outside and it is dropped like this. But at the instant whenever it is dropped, as the balloon is having velocity v naught, the stone is also having same velocity v naught in this direction. But whenever it is dropped from the balloon, now it comes under gravity. So because of gravity, the velocity of the stone gradually decreases and velocity of the balloon gradually decreases and velocity becomes 0 after reaching the highest point. Again they comes down, and when they reaches the ground, what is the time taken? The time taken they asked. This total time taken they asked. You see, indirectly this stone is thrown vertically upwards with a velocity v naught from this height, from the top of the tower. It appears like a tower. Okay, whatever the height up to which the balloon reaches in t naught seconds, that much height tower you imagine here. Then it is indirectly the stone thrown vertically upwards from the top of the tower. It is like this, like that, no? Okay. Here, where Williams you could not understand? John William, where you could not understand? Okay, here you see, one balloon is released at the from the ground. Okay, then balloon goes upwards with an acceleration g by 8. Here after considering the effect of gravity, everything, the balloon travel with an acceleration g by 8 in upward direction. That means the balloon travel upwards with increasing velocity as acceleration is g by 8. After t naught seconds, suppose it acquires the velocity v naught. At that instant, it rises to a height h. At that time, from the balloon, a stone is dropped. At the instant whenever stone is dropped, as the balloon is having some velocity, every body inside the balloon is also having same velocity. Even the stone is released just like as along with the balloon, as we are moving in upward direction with a velocity v naught, every body is also having same velocity. That's why even if drop at that time, as it is having velocity v naught, the stone moving upwards initially. But whenever it is dropped from the balloon, then it comes under gravity. So because of gravity, the velocity of the stone gradually decreases, and after reaching the maximum height, velocity becomes 0 and they comes down like this and it reaches the earth. So after stone is dropped from the balloon, what is the time taken by the stone to reach the ground? That is the question they asked. I think you could understand the John Williams. You could understand the question. Okay, so here the stone is dropped from the moving balloon. No, the stone is dropped. It is not freely falling body. Just suppose if you on the top of the building, you stand and you drop your body. Building has no velocity, no. That's why from certain height, from rest, if you drop the body, okay, u is equal to 0. But here it is not. Here it is dropped from the moving balloon. It is dropped from the moving balloon. That's why whatever the velocity of the balloon at the instant whenever stone is dropped, the stone is also having same velocity in the same direction at that instant. But whenever it is dropped from the balloon, then it is under gravity. The gravity pulls the stone in downwards direction. Even stone is in this balloon, that is also pulled. But even then, the balloon pushes the stone upwards. Okay, but here it is comes under gravity only. It is just like a body thrown upwards from certain height. Then velocity of the body gradually decreases and becomes 0, and after that it comes down and reaches the ground. I think you could understand. John William. Okay. Right. Now, you see, here just imagine there is a tower of height this h. So we have to find the height of the tower first. Height of the tower we have to find, and v naught we have to find. Because if you know height of the tower and v naught, or the height at which stone is released, and what is the velocity of the stone when it is dropped from the balloon. If you know, then we can find the time. Okay, first we have to find the velocity. Here initial velocity, here this is the point A, this is point B, say. So when you consider the motion from A to B for balloon, okay, initial velocity is 0, acceleration g by h. Okay, after time t naught, what is the velocity of the balloon? V is equal to v naught. So from v is equal to u plus at, v means v naught, that is equal to u means 0. It is not given, we have to find, plus a means g by h into t means t naught. So velocity of the balloon at that instant is equal to g by 8 t naught. So whenever the stone is dropped, then the stone is also having same velocity in upward direction as the balloon. Next, what is the height at which from the balloon stone is dropped? So s is equal to h, that is equal to question mark. From s is equal to ut plus half at square. S means h, u means 0, plus half a means g by 8 into time t naught square. So therefore h is equal to g t naught square by 16. So this is it is the velocity, it is the height. Now come to the stone. For stone, you see, here they asked what is the time taken by the stone after released to reach the ground. After dropped from the balloon, what is the time taken by the stone to reach the ground? Means at this, from this point they asked the time taken. So at that point, what is the velocity of the stone? V naught upwards. So initial velocity u is equal to v naught. As the velocity of the stone is vertically upwards, acceleration is equal to. Now it is under gravity. It will not move with g by 8 acceleration because it is already came out from the balloon. That's why it is under gravity. Hence, as the stone is thrown vertically upwards, acceleration is minus g. Displacement is how much? Displacement of the stone before reaches the ground is how much? Displacement of the stone before reaches the ground is how much? Come on, you respond in chat box immediately. H or minus h. The balloon reaches a height h. From this, the stone is released. Then, before reaches the ground, what is the displacement of the stone? Minus h, no, just like tower. So s is equal to minus h. Time taken is how much? So from s is equal to ut plus half at square. S means minus h is equal to u v naught into t plus half a means minus d into t square. What is h? Because h we imagine, but t naught is given. That's why in terms of this one we have to write. Minus h means g t naught squared by 16 is equal to v naught means g t naught by 8. G t naught by 8 into t minus half g t square. Okay, so half, you bring this half gt square to left, half gt square. Okay, minus gt naught by 8 into t, already minus gt naught square by 16, that is equal to 0. That means we are having a quadratic equation. Okay, you cancel g, we can cancel g, and 2 4s are 2 8s are, we can write. Therefore, t square minus t naught by 4 into t minus t naught square by 8 is equal to 0. It is just like ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. Okay, instead of a, instead of x, t is there, coefficient of x square is a, so coefficient of t square is 1. Here coefficient of x is b, here coefficient of t is b is equal to minus t naught by 4 and c is equal to minus t naught square by 8. So I think we cannot do directly. So we have to solve the roots. Minus b plus or minus formula is there, no? Okay, by that method we can do. Here roots for x are t. T is equal to minus b plus or minus square root of b square minus 4ac by 2a, no? That is equal to minus b means minus t naught by 4. Minus t naught by 4 plus or minus square root of b square minus t naught by 4 whole square minus 4 into a 1 c minus t naught square by 8, t naught square by 8 whole by 2 into a means 1, a means 1. Okay, therefore t is equal to minus minus plus t naught by 4 plus or minus square root of t naught square by 16 minus minus plus t naught square by 2 you will get, because 4 2s are, okay, by 2. Therefore t is equal to t naught by 4 plus or minus, when you take LCM you will get 16 is LCM, then t naught square plus 2 8s are 8 into t naught square means 8 t naught square by 2. Okay. T is equal to t naught by 4 plus or minus, here 9 t naught square by 16 whole by 2, that is equal to t naught by 4 plus or minus 3 t naught by 6 4 you will get, no? You see, root 9 t naught square by 16 means 3 t naught by 4 we can write now, 3 t naught by 4, okay, by 2. Shall we take positive or negative sign? Shall we take positive or negative sign? Why? Suppose if you take negative, then you will get negative value. If you take negative, then you will get negative value of time. Time has no negative value. That is always positive. That's why you have to take positive only. So t naught by 4 plus 3 t naught by 4 whole by 2. That is equal to 4 t naught by 4. 4 4 cancel, t naught by 2. Therefore, t is equal to t naught by 2. That means after what time the stone reaches the ground, after what time the stone is dropped from the balloon, it reaches the ground means after t naught by 2 seconds, the stone reaches the ground. So this, in this way we have to do. Okay. Now we'll do some problems in our material. Are you follow this one? Yeah, negative is not possible. That's why we have taken positive sign. Okay, right. You take the snapshot. Okay, I think you have taken snapshot. Of course, I will send this video to you. I will upload in YouTube. No problem. We do some problems. Okay. In our material, in Chaitanya material, we are having some problems. Some important problems are there. We will discuss. Here, another note point only you write. In this only another note point. Already, I think 5, 6 note example is over. Note points. One more example. Okay. One more example. Are in our material, in Chaitanya material, exercise 2, lecture sheet, page number 79, level 1. In this, we have to do some problems. Okay. First problem. A freely falling body travels. Just you listen the problems. I will send the notes to you. I will send the questions to you. Okay. Already it was sent. Okay. If it is sent, it means okay. Karthik, you ask your vice principal. You call your vice principal so that he will send. Already from your friends you can gather. Okay. Already it was the material was sent to you. I think the vice principal kept in the group also. Okay, a freely falling body travels dash half of total distance in the 5th second. A freely falling body travels dash half total distance in 5th second. Okay. Suppose there is a freely falling body. The freely falling body travel in 5th second. Suppose the time taken by the freely falling body to reach this point is say 5 seconds. In 5th second means, in 5th second, that means n is equal to 5. The distance traveled by the body is what percentage of the total distance traveled? In 5th second, distance travel is Sn. In 5 seconds, distance travel is S. Then what is the percentage? The freely falling body travels dash of total distance in the 5th second. That is the question they asked. Okay, here 5th second is the last second given. Okay, now Sn by S, here distance travel in the last second by total distance travel in that time is Sn by S. Percentage they asked into 100. What is Sn? Initial velocity is 0, no? So Sn means u plus a into n minus half. General formula I am writing. Okay, by S means ut plus half at square into 100. It is the percentage of the distance traveled in the last second before reaches in the last second whenever the compared with the total distance traveled in that time. Okay, if you see the problem, you can understand. This is equal to u means 0 plus, as it is freely falling body, a is equal to g. N means 5 minus 1 by 2 by u means 0 plus half, a means g into t square means 5 square into 100. So here gz cancel. Okay, this is equal to, when you take LCM, then it becomes 9 by 10 by, here 25 by 2 means into 2 into 100. 25 4s are 2 5s are 2 2s are. Therefore 36 by 5. What is the answer you will get? This only. Here we have committed some mistake there somewhat. Here it is 0, it is 0. Okay, a is equal to g. 5 minus 1 by 2. Here half into g into t square means 5 square. G cancel. Okay, 2 here. Okay, here 10 is here what is the value? Okay, here we did mistake. In calculation we did mistake. Okay. So this is equal to, you see what is this value? 5 to the 10. 10 minus 1 by 2 means 9 by 2 into this 2 goes to numerator by 5 into 5 25 into 100 is there into 100. So 2 to cancel, 25 4s are. Therefore Sn by S into 100 is equal to 36. So this is the percentage of the distance traveled, percentage of the total distance traveled in the last second is equal to 36%. Okay. Here, a freely falling body, somebody asked the question to repeat. A freely falling body travels dash of total distance in 5th second is, which is last second. 5th second is the last second, means total time of journey is equal to 5 seconds. In this 5 seconds, whatever the distance traveled, in that distance, in the last second, the distance traveled is Sn. Then what is the percentage of this distance, the percentage of the distance traveled in the last second when compared with the total distance? What is the answer is given in percentages. That's why I calculated the percentage. Okay. Next. Sixth problem. The distance traveled by a body during last second of its total flight is d. When the body is projected vertically up with certain velocity. If the velocity of projection is doubled, the distance traveled by the body during last second of its total flight is dash. The distance traveled by the body during last second of its total flight is d. Last second of its total flight is d. One minute, I will connect to the power bank. Okay, just you see this problem. I will connect to the power bank because it is discharging. Okay. It is discharging. That's why I have to connect to the power bank. Mobile. Right. Next problem. Sixth problem. Most important. The distance traveled by the body during last second of its total flight is d. When the body is projected vertically up with certain velocity, if the velocity of projection is doubled, the distance traveled by the body during the last second of its total flight is. Same concept here. You see, one body is thrown vertically upwards with certain velocity u. Then after time of flight, it reaches the ground. No, what is the formula for time of flight? 2u by z. Time of flight is 2u by g. That means time taken by this vertically projected body to reach the ground is equal to 2u by g. That is say 10 seconds. Then what is the last second? Last second of its total flight means 10th second. Similarly, here last second of total flight is 2u by g. In 2u by g second, the distance traveled by the body Sn is equal to given as d. It is given. Okay. Suppose when the same body is projected with a velocity double the velocity of projection, then in the last second of its fall, in the last second, the distance travel is equal to Sn is equal to how much? That is the question they asked. So when the body, I think you could understand the problem. Okay. You could understand the problem. when the body is thrown vertically upwards with certain velocity u, with a velocity u, in the last second of its time or total flight time, it travel a distance equal to d. In the last second of its flight time, that is given. In the last second of total flight time means in the last second of total flight time means total flight time or total time of flight is 2u by z. That means suppose this 2u by z is equal to 10 seconds. Then last second is 10 seconds. No? In the last second of total flight, it travel a distance equal to d. If the velocity is doubled, what is the last total distance traveled in the distance traveled in the last second of total flight? That is the question. Okay. Now first in this case, what is here? Time of flight is equal to this one. No? It is say Sn dash. In this case, time of flight is equal to 2u by g. Therefore, distance traveled in the last second is equal to Sn is equal to u plus a into n minus half. General formula. Sn means d. Okay, here d minus or plus. We projected the body in upward direction, whereas in the last second of its time of flight, the body travel in this direction, in downwards direction. That's why Sn is equal to minus d. Sn is equal to minus d. We had to write that sign convention is very, very important. We thrown the body vertically upwards, but in the last second of its time of flight, the body travel in downwards direction. That's why you had to put minus sign. So minus d. U means u only, plus a means as the body is thrown vertically upwards, acceleration is minus d. Initial direction of motion must be taken as the reference direction. You remember that point. Whenever the motion is considered, at that time, whatever the direction of motion of the body, you take that as the reference point. Then you apply the sign convention. Okay. So u vertically projected body. That's why the body is thrown vertically upwards. So u plus only. Acceleration. As the body is thrown vertically upwards, acceleration minus d into, in this case, time of flight is equal to this one. So last second of its fall is equal to 2u by z only, no? So instead of, are you follow this one? Total time of flight is equal to 2u by z. That means last second of time of fall is equal to nth second, that is equal to 2u by z only, no? Okay. You substitute n is equal to 2u by z minus half. So here this is equal to minus d is equal to u minus, you multiply them. Gz cancels, so minus 2u, no? Here minus z into, here time of flight is 2u by z. So my gz cancels, so minus 2u plus g minus plus g by 2. Therefore, from this is equal to minus u plus g by 2. It is minus d. Or u is equal to d plus g by 2. This is equation 1. That means velocity of projection is equal to d plus g by 2. Now you come to this case. For this, what is the time of flight for this? Time of flight t dash, say time of flight t dash is equal to 2 into velocity of projection by z. 2 into velocity of projection is 2u by z. That is, this is equal to last second of its total flight. So therefore, in this case, n is equal to 4u by, therefore n is equal to 4u by z. Now we substitute. From Sn dash is equal to u plus a into n minus half. From this formula, velocity of projection is 2u. Okay, plus a means minus z into n means 4u by z minus half. So this is equal to 2u minus, when you multiply with g, gz cancel. Here gz cancel. Then minus 4u you will have. Minus plus g by 2. So this is equal to minus 2u plus g by 2. That is equal to minus 2 into, what about u? We got u is equal to this one, no? D plus g by 2 plus g by 2. This is equal to minus 2d minus z minus 2 into g by 2 means minus 2 to cancel, minus z plus g by 2. This is equal to minus 2d minus z plus g by 2 means minus z by 2 you will get now. Okay, therefore you take minus common. When you take minus common, minus of d plus 2d plus g by 2. This is Sn dash. That means when the velocity of projection is doubled, then the distance traveled by the body in the last second of its time of flight is equal to minus of 2d plus g by 2. Minus sign represents the body travel in opposite direction. That's why just you have to write the magnitude. 2d plus g by 2. 2d plus g by 2 is the answer. 2d plus g by 2. Yeah, 2d plus g by 2 is the answer. Okay. In this way we have to do. Okay, next one problem that is important for advance also. Here, a ball is one example. A ball is thrown vertically upwards at t is equal to 0. Its height varies with a ball thrown vertically upwards at t is equal to 0. Its height varies with time as follows. Consider g is equal to 10 meter per second square. Here, when the body is thrown vertically upwards, at first the height gradually increases, then decreases with time. No, so how height varies with the time? That is given by the graph here, as shown in the diagram. We'll get a parabola. No, when the body is thrown vertically upwards here, the height increases and then decreases. So how it varies with time means in between height and time. If you note the equation, then you will get a parabola equation. That's why we got the parabola like this. It is given that exactly here at time 1 second and at a time 7 seconds, the body reaches the same height h1. Next, at a time 3 seconds and at this time 5 seconds. At this time 5 seconds, the body is at the same height h2. Okay, here h is in meters, time is in seconds. Of course, time is in seconds. Then multiple option question. First option A, maximum height attained is 60 meter. B, time of flight is equal to 8 seconds. C, projection speed, that means velocity of projection of the body is equal to 40 meter per second. And D, height difference in the heights reached. Here h2 h1 are there. No, h2 minus h1 is equal to 40 meter. Which one is correct? We have to pick up from the option. Okay, now you see here already in case of vertically projected body, we know in case of vertically projected body, while it is coming down like this, at a time t1 it is at this height. At a time t2 also there is a possibility to be at the same height. No, at a t2 seconds also already we discussed it. Okay, it is the same case. At a time t1, you see, at a time t1 seconds the body is at this height. At a time t1 is equal to 1 second, the body is here. At a time t is equal to 7 seconds, the body is at the same height. That means t1 is equal to 1, t2 is equal to 7. So in this case, height h1, height is h1. Here this time plus this total time, sum of these two gives what? There are two instances of time at which the body remains at the same point in case of a body thrown vertically upwards are given t1, t2. Already I said just now. Okay, the sum of these two times is equal to time of flight. No, t is equal to t1 plus t2. That is equal to t1 plus t2 means t1 is 1, t2 is equal to 7. 1 plus 7. Therefore, time of flight is equal to 8 seconds. Already time of flight is there. No, so this 8 seconds, that is correct. But if you are given time of flight, immediately time of flight is equal to 2u by z, we can write no. Time of flight is equal to 2u by z. From this, u is equal to g 8z by 2. 2 4s are 4z. So u is equal to 4 into g means 10. So velocity of projection is equal to 40 meter per second. So we got velocity of projection 40. That is also correct. So this C also correct. Next, maximum height reached A. Maximum height reached is equal to u square by 2z. No, as we got u, you substitute here 40 into 40 by 2 into g means 10. 22s are so 80. So h is equal to 80 meter. That is not there. It is not correct. Next, D. So what about h1 difference, h2? In a time, you see, in a time t is equal to 1 second, the height reached by the projectile is h1, because we have calculated the velocity of projection. So with this velocity, when it is thrown vertically upwards, in 1 second, what is the height reached? In 3 seconds, what is the height reached? You calculate. Difference between them is the answer. So from S is equal to ut plus half at square. First you calculate h1. H1 is height. Here height reached. This height reached is equal to h1. H1 is equal to velocity of projection. Already we have 40. 40 into, to reach this much height, time taken is equal to 1 second. No, that's why time is equal to 1 plus half. A means minus z. So minus 10 into t square means 1 square. 2 5s are. That's why h1 is equal to 35 meter we got. Similarly, again from same equation 1, h2 we have to calculate. Height h2 is equal to reach this much height, the time taken is 3 seconds. So we can take 3 seconds or 5 seconds. Anyone, you will get the same answer. Okay, h2 is equal to ut, u means same, 40 into time t is equal to 3 seconds plus half, a means minus z, so minus 10 into t square means 3 square. So 40 into 3, 120 minus, you see it is 9, 2 5s are, 5 into 9, 45, so minus 45. 120 minus 45 means 75, no? 75 meter. They asked h2 minus h1 here. So h2 minus h1 is equal to 75 minus 35. Therefore, h2 minus h1 is equal to 40 meter, no? 40 meter is correct now. That's why here answers are in the options. Answers are B, C, D are correct. That means it is a multi-answer type question. B, C, D are correct. Okay. Very good, Nana. Lakshmi Narayana. Very good. You did immediately. Jan William. Okay. Nikhil. Okay. All of you. Very good. Nagasai Deepak. Very good. Right. Right, Nana. All of you. Very good. Now I will send the assignment today. You will do those problems. Of course, they do not have this much depth also. Some easy problems only. You do. Already somebody chatted that I sent the problems also in level exercise 2. I sent. Okay. If it is sent, okay. Otherwise, I will send to you again. Okay. So you do. I will mark the questions also. Which problems you have to do. I will mark the questions. Those problems only you do. Okay. Right, Nana. Have a nice day. Take care. I'm signing out.